You know, in most companies, there's this quiet problem that costs countless hours and creates massive headaches. I'm talking about repetitive data entry. So today, we're going to break down how to move away from all that inefficiency and toward a much smarter system, one where you can enter data just once and use it, well, everywhere. So just imagine this for a second. What if one single data entry could power your ESG reporting, calculate your carbon footprint, handle compliance, and fill out your management dashboards all at the same time? Too often, we see different teams chasing down the exact same numbers over and over again. It's frustrating, right? And honestly, it's totally unnecessary. All right, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll dive into the problem itself, data silos. Then we'll look at what a smarter reporting model actually looks like. After that, we'll get into the 3 keys you absolutely need to make it work. And finally, we'll see how all of this transforms reporting from a total burden into a real strategic asset. Okay, let's get into it. We're going to start with a problem that's probably very, very familiar to anyone who's ever had to pull a report together on a tight deadline. It's such a simple concept, but man, is it a frustrating reality. You've got your finance team, your sustainability team, your operations team, all working hard, but they're stuck re-entering the exact same data into their own separate spreadsheets and trackers. This is the classic data silo problem in a nutshell. And just look at how this duplication plays out in the real world. Think about a single monthly electricity bill. That one little piece of paper holds data that's needed for at least 6 different business functions. And yet, in so many places, that bill gets manually entered 6 different times. It's kind of wild when you think about it.
So what's the result of all this? Well, sooner or later, the numbers stop matching up. And this forces teams to spend most of their time just checking and validating data instead of actually analyzing it. It creates really weak audit trails and makes the whole reporting process incredibly slow, expensive, and almost purely reactive.
And here's what that chaos looks like visually. Finance gets the bill, they enter it for their cost analysis. Then the sustainability team gets it and enters it for their ESG report. And yep, you guessed it, operations enters it again for their performance tracker. It's just completely redundant, inefficient, and a huge source of potential errors. So that's the problem. It's a mess. Now let's talk about the solution, which is all about moving from that fragmented chaos to a clean, integrated system. The idea itself is actually beautifully simple. Just look at the power of this simple shift. The electricity bill is entered one time into a central system, and from that single point of entry, the data automatically flows to every single report that needs it. No more retyping, no more copy-pasting, and no more version control nightmares. And this same logic applies to pretty much everything. A single entry for diesel consumption can feed your carbon calculations, cost reviews, and climate reports. You can do the same thing for water usage, for waste data, even for employee training records. You see, the key isn't just about collecting the data, it's about structuring it the right way from the very beginning.
Now, this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually make it work in the real world? Well, it really comes down to getting 3 foundational pieces of the puzzle just right.
Okay, first, you have to standardize the input. We're talking clear, consistent units, categories, and dates. Second, you map the logic so the system knows exactly where each data point needs to flow automatically. And third, and this is a big one, you have to ensure validation and accountability with a crystal clear audit trail. If you skip these, even one small mistake can multiply across every single report you generate. So what's the big payoff here? Why go through all this trouble? Well, it's about so much more than just saving a little time. It's about fundamentally changing your organization's entire relationship with its own data. When your data is unified, the quick wins are pretty obvious, right? Less duplication, fewer errors, but the real value goes so much deeper. You get consistency across all your teams, and you become audit-ready by default. Your reporting cycles get faster, which leads to clearer accountability, and it gives your leadership a much better view of what's actually going on in the business. And this is really the moment where the dynamic completely shifts. Reporting stops being this reactive administrative chore and starts becoming a proactive strategic asset, a powerful tool for tracking performance, spotting new trends, and ultimately making much better decisions.
So this leaves us with a pretty important question to think about for your own organization. Is your data a reporting burden, or is it a decision-making asset? Because at the end of the day, truly reliable reporting doesn't start when you build the report. It starts way back at that first point of data entry.